Welcome to Kickstarter Radio 102.4. I'm your host, Lipstickpaddy, and today we're looking at Assault on Doomrock, the Ultimate Edition. So what is this? Well, actually, it looks so good. It's a very charming game. Really kind of madcap and quirky. Some of it is like a little bit silly, but I like a bit of silly because I'm a big fan of comedy. But it's kind of in a quirky manner. Anyway, it's a bit like Monty Python has quirky humour. It has a bit of strange things in here, especially, you know, if you're playing adventure games and you're fighting orcs and you fight skeletons, you know, the run-of-the-mill stuff. This stuff plays around with enemies, not just items, but enemies as well. So there's like, if you watch, for example, Radho's playthrough by Shay, on the battle mode he's facing tomatoes. So yeah, it's madcap is what it is, and I think that is why people gravitate and have warmed to this game. In fact, what we're looking at here is the kind of adventure mode where you're looking at these locations. We'll go down the page actually to explain best as we can. Now then, 1 to 4 players. The solo mode, you do get like a buddy character to play with you, which is like a dumbed down character. Nothing stopping you playing with 2 characters, but it might get a little bit of brain burn because of all the little, you know, what each character can do is quite a lot. You might forget certain abilities or cards that you're fighting with and stuff like that, but it's potentially doable. But there is a solo mode that is part of this, because this has like expansions and all that stuff in. All in pledge 166, right in your face there. Okay. Now, if I press Control Plus, it should get rid of these sides. Let's do it. It's bigger, but we have that bar at the bottom. Now, it says 60 minutes, which is fairly interesting. Is that the adventuring and the fighting as well? I think it is, actually. You are going to be going on this journey. Spirits and witches. What did that say before? There's like a bit of humour. You can see like a pig here. That's like a mount that you can ride. It's a bit kind of weird and wacky, like I said. What could go wrong in the land? Lots, I guess. I mean, is it fantasy? No, it's kind of a bit of everything, because you can get like heroes that have got lasers and stuff. So it's like a bit of smash up, if you like, where you can just put loads, you could potentially get loads of different technology from different eras. So it is going to have a 3-act fantasy campaign. Fantasy should have a star on it, really, because fantasy doesn't normally have lasers and stuff like this. But so expect the unexpected when you play it. Now, it says it's a roguelike emphasis, and that's kind of what's interesting about this, is kind of the randomness of the acts and stuff. The version 4 rules. Numerous enhancements, improvements, integrated expansions into the rulebook, twice the content. So, you know, this is potentially the final version of the game, you might say. Brutally difficult. Roguelike should be difficult, but it doesn't look that difficult. But I've not played the whole of it and just watched playthroughs. It looks actually really fun. It doesn't look difficult. You just gotta. It's not a gateway game. It's like a gamer's gate adventure, because you've got to really think about everything that you've got. Now, retail availability is unlikely, it says. Now, you're new to Doomrock, click here. It just takes you down to the how to play. What's in the 4th edition? It just takes, it's like a quick thingy button. It would have been nice if this has jumped somewhere else, not just down the page, but hey. All in pledge. Now, why is this interesting? Well, if you're playing 4 players, you're going to need more dice for certain. You get the play mat, and we'll see it as we go down. But for me, this is the one I jump on, 100%, because it needs a board. It does need a board. Right, so let's go down. In fact, the board thingy is what I want, and it's got that roguelike expansion. We'll go down and have a look at this. They're throwing these up so early, aren't they? Why are the pledges so high? What pledge would you go for? I mean, me, that mat. The mat is everything. Stretch goals that are unlocking then. An ability design contest. So this is going to be social, is it? That sounds fun. I've not pledged on this, so I don't know what the social one is, but I'm certainly going to be watching it. It looks so interesting. Nothing in my collection's like this, and I think with its charming little adventure around the town and then combat within that short period, I think it is delightful. So yeah, ability design and event designs, and I'm guessing these socials want the craziest ideas and all that stuff. And in fact, they've not unlocked yet, have they? This is potentially going to unlock, so. Promo deck upgrade, 10 items. This is giving you common items, epic items, and yeah, giving you more cards. But this game is heavy card focused on items, so more the merrier. Already unlocked. Lin finish, great, especially on the tokens. I like that. Oh, it's interesting. The solo second goon, so you can have a different type of solo. In fact, if you think the game is difficult, there's nothing stopping you with using both of these goons. I think that'd be interesting. Yeah. You know, and there's no reason why you can't play 2-player and each have a goon. So there's 4 players because it is balanced for 4. And yeah, that's what I'd potentially go with. We each have a goon. Secret areas, it's all about the fun, isn't it? Going off the side, going off the main quest. Looking at whatever's around. Alright, so add-ons then. We've got the Roguelike expansion. I'm guessing it's going to tell us what that is down below. Poker chips for the heroes. It's delightful, isn't it? This is for the battle, isn't it? Now, it's got the neoprene map. Now, one huge request for this is that it's double-sided, because the adventure phase, where you've got cards for different locations, that would be nice if it had that mat on it, because at the minute you go adventure phase and you've got to clear that away and put down the battle map to set up the next phase. There's almost 2 games here, the adventure and then the fighting, which is what we see kind of in adventure games anyway. But having said that, it's €20. If it's going to be double-sided, the cost might go up. 800 cards, custom dice, loads of tokens. Different card sizes, actually. Yeah, some of these cards, the big ones, are the locations that you're putting down and things like this. Now, party marker, this is interesting, because especially when you're in the adventuring phase, you just kind of, you'll see on the playthroughs they're just using a token to move around. This is way better to have a party marker. Bit of a strange one, isn't it, with a skull on it, though, as the party marker. But it is what it is. A minute is better than the token that we've got at the minute. Now, 20 playable heroes. You can see the kind of crazy world they've got going on here. And even playing a horse class, which is, you know, if you thought the panda was crazy, the horse, you can play a horse. You get unique abilities. This is kind of the mashup that you do in your character creation, which is funny. You might call it funny. And you can see the art style that they've got going on for the abilities. I do appreciate they've got the art, but it is a little bit indie looking, I'll say, to the art. But as long as all the art stays within the indie look, I've got no qualms with it. And this is definitely like an indie project, not going to come to retail, and I can't, it's not like it's trying to be a AAA bloody board game, isn't it, where you expect quality art. But yeah, lasers and swords and stuff is mashing up loads of different eras, isn't it? And you see on Shay's playthrough, he's like a Valkyrie that has lasers. So yeah, it's kind of weird. Funny. You can split them both sides though, which is interesting if you want to go male or female. It doesn't seem to do anything other than just look different. I would have preferred it. The guy has a bit more strength. The Valkyrie has a little bit more agility. It would be nice if male and female had a little bit of difference. Maybe the Valkyrie has a bit more. Well, maybe she's got the strength. She's quite burly. Maybe the Viking's got agility. I mean, the game is kind of madcap in it, so there's no reason why they shouldn't do that. But I think the genders should have some racial ability to kind of promote you wanting to play the different class. Anyway, I appreciate how they've done the cards anyway, male and female. They've not got like a copycat background. Yeah, there's lasers flying around in here, but it is different on each card. So props to the art on what they're doing here. So yeah, you are creating your hero in just such of a strange way. And you can see here an oiled mage and the slippery escape. Just really daft armor. Daft like pictures in it. And this is like a subclass. So it's like mage, subclass oiled. And yeah, if you're surrounded by enemies, deal this kind of corruption, I think it is, to each adjacent enemy. That means that they'll take potentially more damage. So yeah, it is kind of nice, and I like the art actually in its quirky manner. It's like the unhonourable card of a cheap shot, which is a kick in the gonads, but he's got in the picture there. Kind of funny. Stinky though, garlic breath. So it has like a real strange humour going on. Much appreciated, because it's like light-hearted, isn't it? And Monty Python-esque. Now then, you definitely can level up your hero, and you definitely want to do this. There's a great feeling of progression because of all the things you can get, and a lot of these things are increasing your attributes. Yeah, so for example, the Blood Boil here, if you get that upgrade, it buffs your intelligence. Some of these cards will buff your strength, some are going to buff your agility. So it all depends which way you want to roll. Items are definitely delicious. The common item sets they've got look great. The epics look great, but I would love to see ultimate recipes as well. Yeah. But they're going for epics. It's purple anyway on the cards. These are much better. And these epics actually have requirements. So the chainsaw, though, you do need to have 3 strength for that. Some mixes them up. The demon string, that needs 2 agility, 1 intelligence. But they are really juicy. These go into certain slots on your character as well, so you can't have too many items. For example, the demon string here is a 2-handed weapon. The armor goes into your armor slot and all that stuff. I'll say that why is there no character board? Because at the minute you're just putting these cards around, and it would be nice to have a board for it all. battles. So in the 3 acts, you've got different enemies in each act, so it has a kind of balance because it expects you to level up between the acts, which is good. Because there's like a deck of them as well, you're not likely to face all of these enemies, so replayability is high. Thematic stuff, of course, like I say, it's pulling monsters from a range of fantasy worlds and sci-fi worlds. Like I said, it's got a little bit of this smash up. Strange activation cards, yeah. You'll see on the playthroughs, just go to each playthrough, you can see different fights and stuff. It is fairly interesting. Now we're at the adventure phase here. 50 different areas, which is really nice, isn't it? These locations are good because you'll get a scenario like you're in Act 1 and it'll tell you something's happening, and you get a certain amount of time to adventure around. Some of these options here, for example, if you go to the lagoon here, you go for a picnic, that's going to cost a time token. Swim anywhere. This is interesting because it takes time. It'll take 2 of the exclamation marks. When you go to these areas, they get exclamation marks in the corner. So lagoon should have 4 of these. So it's going to cost 2 of them to go swim anywhere, and a heroic action to actually get the swim anywhere. But you are going to be swimming. So that's kind of an expensive activity to do, but there is an epic loot down there, which is interesting. So they have these like locations have places that you're going to go to. Going to cost time, or it's going to cost these exclamation marks. And once you've used all the exclamation marks in that area, you've kind of explored it all. The scout here, which is to climb a pole, you'll be able to look at the top card in the decks, and if you don't like what you see, you can put it to the bottom of the deck. You can even uncover what the boss is going to be. Potentially, it can give you an insight into how to roll your character. Or prepare for it best you can. The time token, though, lets you scout around the area, and you can go to different locations when you're here. There's going to be 3 locations, and sometimes that location might offer a 4th location and secret locations and stuff like this. So I really like the adventure phase. When you watch it on the playthroughs, it is fun as you jump between each one and you're rolling and stuff, getting decks. It's kind of cool. Yeah, because they go out like a river here. So if you overturn the right card here, the far left one will disappear. Is what's suggested it disappears, but I don't know why you just can't leave it there, I guess. But yeah, it suggests that the fact that could disappear over there might mean you want to go over there first. Yeah, there's going to be dangers, of course. You're on an adventure, and there's an event deck, of course, and the adventure potentially is going to give you some interesting stuff. These are a little bit simple, just a little bit of text. It would have been nice to see a picture of the village. I'm sure they could have reduced the text down a little bit, and it would have been a bit more thematic, wouldn't it? Settings, these are kind of the scenarios, and these are for the adventures. So these potentially might give you a bonus in certain areas, like if you're a mountain area, you might get an extra plus to your dice roll for the loot. They have this loot deck, and you can see you're rolling, and some of these, even though it says like 8 here on the loot, there is going to be bonuses so you can get up to this, which is nice. And you're definitely wanting to jump for the epic and the common items. The common items can be a lot of consumables, which you're going to need in battle. Now, this peril die, you are going to be rolling it. For example, here it's talking about these skulls you're going to be rolling. You can take damage and stuff when you do this. It's going to hurt you basically to climb stuff. And we've seen these skulls up here, haven't we? to swim anywhere, that's going to damage your character if you do that. 2 dice rolls for this danger die. Now you see the secret areas, they've got art on them, which is nice. So why can't the events have this stuff on? Anyway, the secret areas, they're kind of cool because it's like a bonus area, isn't it? I love the Adventuring Expo, which is really nice. Discover sewers under deserts, spa massage parlours in the dungeons, and other magnificent nonsense. So wacky world is kind of what makes the charming game of it. The dice, the activation cubes with your abilities, loads of tokens. These big tokens are nice to give you heroism or stealth if you want to go in. And like these tokens of stealth and heroism, they can be used in adventure phase and in the battling phase, so yeah. Interactive terrain pieces. This is interesting, isn't it? This is already an expansion that's come in. So basically in the battle arena you're going to have some furniture pieces down that you can do stuff with. So that's interesting. These are just examples. Move your character over to the table and get to interact with it. Pets, this is already an expansion in. Take care of a pet during the adventure. Why not? And these pets are kind of interesting. 15 different pets, it says. And they are going to need feeding, of course, aren't they? So yeah, your pets can level up, which is interesting. It'd be nice to see the art a little bit different if they've leveled up, though. Maybe when you level the pug up, maybe his tongue's not sticking out because he's a bit stronger and he's not as daft, but... it would, yeah. Anyway, could look a bit different. Overpowered traits. Dun, 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 dun. Expansion of heroes. The noob. There are like advanced classes, and there's like this uber advanced class, which. Can we jump to the rule book? Right, so this is the classes here. You've got Commander, Warrior, Archer, Mage or Fairy, Rogue or Rouge, Bard, Viking or Valkyrie, Witch or Witcherer. The advanced classes here, these are, it says you need to have some knowledge of advanced rules if you're going to use the advanced ones. And it has this good luck class, which is the hardest one, which is the Skillomancer, which is interesting. It does say you're going to need to have played it once. So maybe you've played the game with your friends and you want to come back doing a solo experience. Maybe you want a Skillomancer just for the challenge. Talks about here Necromancer and the Beastmaster and the Druid. They're going to have certain, a pet setup or shape-shifting. So there's going to be a little bit of extra things you're going to need with different classes. In fact, we'll stay in the rulebook here because you've got a good picture of what it looks like on the table. This is what I think you should have a map for, is your hero character, because it's just cards lying about here. This would look nice with a map, I think, instead of just being on the table. That's what it looks like, for example. That also could look like a map because you've also got cards stacked. And the back of this, what I want on the back of the battle map is a map for this, because you could have card locations there. Especially as if you're uncovering a new area, the far left area card gets removed like a little river. So I don't know why there's not a big map for this. Maybe that could happen during the campaign. Maybe it is planned, I don't know, but yeah. So yeah, just say you can customize the difficulty settings. So if it is hard, you can modify rules and stuff. You can tune it, basically. I do like these custom dice that they've got. I wonder if they're going to engrave it, seeing as it's one colour. on the die. That's something that potentially could happen. Yeah, I like this because, for example, this 6 die is going to give you heroism. Heroism, if you get that. That's good. The solo goon, and there's going to be a second goon. This is good. And potentially, like I said, play 2-player, but give each one a goon as well. Maybe up the difficulty to balance it, but just make it more fun. More cards in the game. It's definitely card-centric, so you're adventurous. And I like the fact you've got tons of different cards, so more cards is awesome. Premium game board. What is this? Space to put your decks. Are they just going to slot in here and this is above it then? That we saw in the rulebook and your adventure things come. So they've got like a mini board. Okay. It says provide space for the decks and a thematic way to mark passing time and a place to store loot. You do have like a shared loot container, so maybe this is part of that. I'd like to see this as a table setup, frankly. Hopefully, they kind of do updates where they show this stuff off. Because when you see it and you think, oh, that's where it goes, that's really nice, you know, it makes you kind of feel like you're getting better value proposition. And the poker chip upgrades for the combat, as there's no standees, sadly, there's no minis, sadly, and it's funny, isn't it, because you've got chips that you're fighting with, but it's still 116 euros. Yeah, I mean, can you not have done acrylic standees instead of discs? But, you know, if you're... Because, again, a lot of this stuff's silly that you're fighting. It would look fun to see the art, but... I don't know, it's like a little bit disappointing that they've got chips. Right, so here's the Roguelike expansion. You can complete achievements now, it says. And Roguelike is you're playing it again. So these achievements are going to level up your character. So if you do die, when you come back again, you'll still have these cards to use from the beginning. And there's quite a lot in these, so this is kind of cool. And this concept of roguelike means you're going to go in and get so far and die, but you'll have these cards to put on your character when you come back again. So it's like an endless mode, I guess. Generate your hero. Could be silly. Definitely could be silly. A clumsy monk. An arrogant cleric. Ridiculously armoured cleric. We all can't be perfect. The adventure cards, yeah. Yeah, I do like how this works. The scared monk. He's got a hero costume and a wrestler's mask and a dart gun. So yeah, all kind of fun and silly. And this is what the fighting looks like with these chips on the board. Why have you not done standees? Why have you not done minis? Why is it already 166? I keep saying why is it 166? This is because it includes these chips. Yeah, so you're rolling dice and you're assigning it to certain places like that. And I think on this map it's like... yeah, the archer here can't fire because he's got an enemy next to him, so the warrior comes over and helps him out, is what it's saying. There's no grid per se, it's just you move them around like you might see in a video game when there's no grid in these action-orientated pause mechanics like Dragon Age, and you just move over there. It's kind of a streamlined. Oh, here it is, the execute. The warrior takes a die off his maneuver, comes straight over, and uses the die from his melee and takes out the monster, and then the archer's free to fire. So nice little bit of helping there. The actual battles will have these introductions to the battles, where they'll have a scenario and tell you how to defeat the scenario and what kind of monsters are going to be there and stuff. Again, it can be weird and wacky, and the 3 acts to play through. Tabletop Simulator, go for it, peeps. It's been streamlined. It's now down to 60 minutes. Text symbols have been improved. AI sheets for encounters has been streamlined. Improved the UI. Rebalanced the content. Redesigned and improved the hero traits. And now got a terrain expansion that's been redesigned for ease of use. This is all kind of what's coming in the update. And put all the expansions into one box. More questionable humor. And updated mechanics. So yeah, fantastic. It says you get new content and you get twice as much in the 2nd edition. So you're getting a lot in the box here. Videos are lovely. I think the Rado one is the one you get most information from. And you pick your poison as it wants. Choose your poison. I like the shipping, actually. Look at that. Go for the all-in with the mat and the chips. Maximum 37 to the rest of the world. That's really good shipping prices, isn't it? When we've seen like stupendous ones, that's nice and low. So props on the team for that. Really, really good. Yeah, no worries. Everything's going to be fine. I wish a lot of backers had this, you know. Oh my god, my game is late. I've not had an update in a couple of months. What's going on? Like, because there's no news. They're waiting, you know. COVID, lockdown, China. Factories closed. Workers in quarantine. Electricity not on every day. Power cuts. Like, there's so much nonsense going on in China at the minute. Alright, there we go, peeps. So, I'm actually pleasantly surprised by Assault on Doomrock. I think it looks fantastic. Ultimate Edition getting all the content, plus new stuff, new cards coming out, and social stuff happening as more backers get onto it. It is definitely one that I recommend, actually, if you want a... It's definitely going to look more different than any other adventure in your shelf, isn't it? One, it's not really got a world map per se. Secondly, it's using these area cards for the adventuring, which is definitely unique. And the fights are happening on like a skirmish map with random events happening. So it's like a skirmish with chips and stuff. So it's going to look different. I'm not a fan of chips, but I do like the idea of this Doomrock game. So, yeah, it's definitely on my radar. I'll probably back it, actually, and get onto these social goals, because they could become interesting. And, of course, backing it will get you this... it's not even coming up, is it? Hello? Premium game board that we looked at. Oh, there, you have to press that button to get a preview of it. Yeah, so you've got your loot from your characters on the right, time locations on the big hourglass, and got the cards then to put in here. So it's like a half board. I think that'll do. That'll definitely do. Anyway, peeps, I'd love to know your thoughts on Assault on Doomrock. It's definitely worth looking at. Definitely worth watching a playthrough of it, because I think the adventure phase will have you interested, and I think the combat phase you'll kind of feel that it is unique. But you know, maybe something is holding you back. Maybe it is the chips. You know, the chip combat. Maybe you don't like that. Maybe you want those. You like standees or minis. You'd prefer that. I don't know. You tell me what you think. And what pledge are you on? Are you interested? Would you go for that big pledge just because it has a mat and it has metal coins and stuff? Because I'm all about that. love to know what pledge you would love to go on, and all that stuff. And if there's anything to this game that you don't like about it, maybe you've played it, please put any concerns in the comments. That'd be refreshing to know. And as this is like the newest edition of the game, hopefully they have fixed it and stuff like that, because we always send our video links to the devs, and they most likely will dive into the comments to see what people are saying also, and all that good stuff. So if you've got any concerns, put it in the comments and all that. Well, if you like the content, please give it a thumbs up, peeps. And if you're new to the channel, we do have a podcast at the weekend which covers all the games of the week, including new music. And so that is, if you're interested in like a podcast you can listen to when you're on the go, if you're commuting to work, whatever, you might find that fun, because it's 50% music and 50% Kickstarter news. And if you've got any comments, any questions you want to give to me, at the end of the month we are going to be doing a special Q&A for the podcast where we'll talk about and answer your questions. Just put comment down below by writing question first, and then write your question. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you do like board games and Kickstarter games and Gamefound games, please think about subscribing on the channel. We try to find all the great gems. And if you are new here, please check out our special videos that we did. Maybe there's some special programs that you're interested in. I'll put a video here so you can see where to find those. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed looking at Assault on Doomrock. Hopefully this video gives you a little bit of pleasure in finding out how it plays, because I think it looks really, really good. Anyway, I've been your host, Lipstickpaddy. This has been Kickstarter Radio 102.4. You take care, stay safe, and bye for now.